Chancellor ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
So, a very good evening to all esteemed members of Team Research Foundation of India, our distinguished and highly respected session expert Dr. Chancellor Jain ma'am, and dear participants. It is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to the 10 days training and faculty development program on a step-by-step guide to writing a good research paper. Today marks the fifth day of this program with a focus on the topic application of SPSS for data analysis. This initiative is proudly organized by the Research Foundation of India and RFI-CARE in association with Shodh Malwa, City University Punjab and MKES Khandwala College with a generous sponsorship from JHARF, Academic Research Guide Association and Edu Academic Inc. It is my honor to once again welcome our esteemed and meticulous expert for today's session, Dr. Chancellor ma'am, an assistant professor at Prestige Institute of Management and Research in Indore. As many of you are already acquainted with ma'am from her insightful session yesterday on application of Excel for data analysis, we are very fortunate to have the opportunity to benefit from her expertise again today. So without further delay, I would like to invite ma'am to begin today's session. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, Neha ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Extremely sorry, I was on call. Yes. So it's a day 5, right, Neha ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as per the schedule shared with all of you, today I'm going to discuss the use of SPSS, and we will see how you can use SPSS for the data analysis purpose, right? So without delaying and not investing much time in the formalities, I think I can directly start with the sessions. Only I will communicate my thank you to Neha ma'am for once again introducing me on this platform. So thank you, Neha ma'am. And now, and good evening to everyone present over here.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. So today's session will be the session on SPSS. I don't know how many of you are having the SPSS. Can anyone of you, or means if you are having SPSS, can you communicate through the chat or maybe by raising your hands or something so that I can get an idea that how many of you are having the SPSS? Any idea? Okay, I'll wait. I have opened the chat. If you can, okay. I think one of you are showing me the thumbs up like this that the person is not having the SPSS. You can put, okay, 2 thumbs up downward. I have seen. Anyone else? 3. Okay. One for yes. Okay. Okay, that's great. Means it's like I will only explain you the use of the use of SPSS today, right? So what you need to do, I think many of you are writing no in chat. Okay, so no issues. As today is only 1 hour session. Santoshi ma'am, you want to say something?
No, ma'am, no.
Yeah. So I think many of you are not having the SPSS. So what I'm expecting you, I'll share the interface with all of you. You can only pay attention that how you can work on this particular SPSS interface or an environment, right? And once if you're joining any FDP on SPSS, that way you can download the trial version of SPSS if you're not having it, right? So give me a second. I'm going to share my screen with all of you.
Madam, good evening. Actually, I want to know one thing that whether we will get the recorded version of this meeting or not, because it will be helpful for us.
Priyanka ma'am, usually of all the RFI sessions are generally available on YouTube. So I think in your WhatsApp group, you are getting the links of the YouTube channel. And I think the link of the particular session also, I think, provided by the RFI. Generally, RFI does so. I think, please correct me, Yoga sir or Neha ma'am.
Yes, I have got the YouTube link. So there I can find the recording.
Yes, recorded. Yes, it is recorded because the session which I am delivering here, it is generally online. So it is usually available on, if you will go to and surf the RFI website, even there you can find these recordings, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I think I shared my screen. I want a confirmation from your side whether it is visible to all of you or not.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Fine. So now what you need to do here, I'll firstly explain you what is SPSS. So you can find that the look of SPSS interface is very much similar or very much same as the Excel. I think every one of you have seen the Excel. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
So you can find Excel is also in the grid form. Similarly, SPSS is also in the grid form. The difference you can find in the Excel workbook, you can enter so many different worksheets. As per your requirement, you can add so many worksheets in the particular workbook, right? But here in the SPSS, at the bottom, you can see I am hovering my mouse at the lower left side, right? I hope you can see there are two views visible to you, data view and the variable view, right? Presently, you can find the color of the data view button is something in yellow type color, right? That means it is indicating this is the variable view. Sorry, this is the data view. Data view means is here you can bring your data in this particular window. You can bring the data, right? Now I will click on the second view, which is the variable view, right? Now you can find, now when I have switched from data view to variable view, the view of variable window is like this, where you can find there are so many different columns available with certain headings. Headings are like name, type, width, decimals, label, etc. So here you can create variables, right? And then whatever variable you are creating here, you can see, means I'll show you. Suppose firstly I will create a variable. So I'll start with the variable creation part of this particular window, right? So suppose I want to create first variable, which is gender. I will always take gender as the first variable. It is very easier for me to explain you. So what I have written here in the name section, I have given the name to my variable, which is gender, right? So you need to take certain precautions here while creating or while writing the name of the variable. And the precautions are what? You cannot start the name of the variable with any number. Suppose I have written here one gender. Now I am pressing the tab button. You can see once I have pressed the tab button, I think you know in Excel also, in a particular cell, once you're entering something and you are pressing the tab, so that way it is shift from one cell to the next cell. Or you can use the arrow keys also from shifting from one cell to the next cell. So the same way I did here. So you can see I'm getting a warning message. Variable name contains an illegal first character. That means you cannot start the name of variable with the number, right? Similarly, if suppose I want to write my variable name, I have kept here the dollar sign before the name of the variable. Now I am shifting from this cell to the next cell. Again, I'm getting invalid variable name. So that means again using the dollar, I cannot start the name of the variable. Again, I have kept here the hashtag sign, and then I'm coming to this. So again, I'm getting the same error, invalid variable name. So that means there are certain limitations while defining the name of the variable. You cannot start the name of variable with the number or any special character except the @ If suppose I have written @ gender, so there is no problem. If I will shift from this cell to this cell, you can see no problem is created by or no error is thrown by SPSS to me, right? It is easily executed here. Fine. So for the easy purpose, I am only keeping here the name as gender. One more thing, if you want to write the name of the variable using more than one word, right? So if we are using more than one words to define the name of any variable, in that case, you cannot put the space between the two words. You need to either use the underscore sign or you need to use the period sign, that is the dot sign. That means, suppose I have written here gender of participant. So you can find here both the things I have used here, gender dot of underscore participant. So either you can use dot at both the places or underscore at both the places in the place of space, right? So that way it is accepted by the SPSS. But if you are putting here a space sign, in that case, the error will be thrown. So that way you can find variable name contains an illegal character, right? So I'm using it like only gender. I hope it is clear, everyone, how to create the name of the variable.
Yes, ma'am.
After writing or defining the name, you can come to the next. So you need to only press the tab key after writing the name of the variable, and you can find almost all the remaining fields are filled by the SPSS, and these are the by default values, right? Now, by default, SPSS generally take any variable as numeric variable. But if your gender is in the form of male and female, that is a string variable, right? So you can change its type. How you can do so? You can come here, you can find three dots are there, you can click on this, and all the related different data types are available. Numeric, comma, dot, scientific notation, date, dollar, custom currency, string, etc. Right? Usually, from the analysis point of view, generally you need to use the numeric, which is most important. Generally, we are using, and then in some cases when you are using the address, name, etc., in that case you can use the string. If you are having the date type of data, means suppose you have collected the particular data according to the date or something. So if you want to enter a date column also, so you can define its type as date. So this way, these are the varieties available here of the variable type. So up to you which type you want to decide. By default, SPSS takes its type as numeric, right? It is fine. Coming to the width. Generally, width is applicable in case of when you are taking a numeric variable which is expressed in terms of decimal points, or when your variable is a string variable. In that case, there is a role of this width. Otherwise, there is no role of the width if your variable is numeric and it is in the discrete form. Discrete form means the complete number form, like 150, 100, 220, something like that. So if in that case, that is a numeric and the whole number or the discrete variable. But if you are using the weight, currency or salary in a decimal point or something, in that case, there is a role of width, right? So the width is allowing you to enter these number of characters, right? Next is the decimal. If you are using a discrete number, so there is no use of this decimal, you can use this arrow and that way you can make it 0. But if you are using any numeric data which is in the decimal point, and according to your requirement, you can set how much decimal or how many decimal point you want to show. That way you can increase or decrease the decimal points. Label is very similar to the name. Only the goodness of the label is that you can write the name of variable without any hindrance or without any type of limitations. The limitations which we have seen here, these limitations will not come. So if suppose I want to write the gender of participants, in that case you can see I have written this once I am pressing the tab, I'm not getting any error here, right? So this way you can define the name of your variable, and generally it is suggestive from my side only. Nowhere you can find this. Many a time it happens we are collecting the data in the large quantity, and that data we are using for more than one research papers, right? So that way, if you are doing so, and it is obviously very quite possible that at the same time you are not using all the analysis. So maybe there can be certain gap of certain time period. So that way, if you are using the same data in the next, maybe after some time, so in that case, if generally this is a human mind, and we generally forgot the things that what is the meaning of exactly of that particular variable. Because here concisely we are giving the names, right? So better use the label option and describe as much as you can write about your variable for your future reference, so that you can get a proper understanding about your variable, right? Next one is the values. Values is nothing but you can see, just a minute. Once I will come on this particular cell, again 3 dots are there, right? So
Ma'am, on what basis we got this width is 8?
this is by default value, ma'am. If you want to decrease or increase, you can use these. This is a by default value given by SPSS.
Okay, ma'am.
Coming to the values, here you can see 3 dots are there. You can click on this. Now, if you have done any kind of coding for your data, so this values option is for that purpose only. So suppose I have taken the gender data, and there we know generally there are 2 categories, male and female. If you're not collecting the data from the 3rd category, so you can go with the 2 categories, right? So for the analysis purpose, generally we are coding our data, right? So suppose I have written here 1 and I have given the label as male, right? I have clicked on add. So that means now if I have written 1 in the gender column, so 1 will be male for me. 2 is suppose female. So again, it is for your future reference purpose. You can click on OK. That way these values will be, value labels will be defined here. So again, these will be for your future reference. Maybe in the future you forgot one you have given for male or female. So that way you can take the reference of this column. This will indicate you 1 is for the male and 2 is for the female, or vice versa. Up to you, whatever coding you want to give. So that way, if you are if you have given any coding to your data, you can use this values column. Next one is the missing value. In SPSS, generally there are 2 types of missing values. The very first one is the system defined missing value, and the second one is the user defined missing value. System defined missing value meaning is that when the data is not available to you, means once you are collecting the data through the offline sources, means you have circulated your questionnaire in the hard form, suppose, right? So might be possible in that case, maybe some persons are not comfortable in giving the answers of few questions, or maybe deliberately or unknowingly some people have left certain questions which are unanswered for us. In that case, once you are entering such responses, so it is quite obvious when the respondent has not given you the response for a question, you will not enter anything in that particular question, right? So that is becoming the missing value for us, right? So if such type of data you are bringing in the environment of SPSS, that will be treated as a missing value, right? That is the system defined missing value. The next one is the user defined missing value. And user defined missing value is generally, from the name it is very clear, user defined means we being a user can define that this can be the missing, or this should be missing from my data, right? So suppose I will come here in this particular cell and I will click on these 3 dots. There you can find the missing values options, or the missing value dialog box is coming. There are 3 options. The very first option is no missing values. Means by default, SPSS is not taking any value as missing, right? But if being a user, you want to define something as missing, so you can use these 2 options. First one is the discrete missing value. Second one is the range plus 1 optional discrete missing value. So suppose I will click on the second option, because gender is having only 2 values, male and female, and I have given 1 for male and 2 for female. So 1 and 2 are the discrete numbers, right? So in that case, the appropriate option here will be the discrete missing value. So suppose I have written here 1, right? Once I will click on OK, in that case, you can find in the missing section, 1 is defined here as a missing. So if I will perform any of the analysis using gender, in that case, the 1 means wherever it will be the one, that particular data will not be included in my analysis. One will be missed by the SPSS because we have defined it as a missing value, right? That means your analysis will be only for the 2, that is the female category. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, coming to the next columns and alignment, these 2 are only for the makeover of your data. There is no use of these in the analysis from the analysis point of view. So if suppose I'll come here, let me take one more variable here, that is name, and now I'm changing its type as the string, because name cannot be defined in the form of numbers. It should be a string, so I have kept it as a string. Now I'm coming here, and suppose I have written here, suppose 1, then 2. Coming here, now I want to write the name of the first one. Suppose 1 is for the male, so okay, suppose I have written here Ritesh, right? Coming down, now I'm typing my name. So here, I don't know, are you able to hear a sound here or not? I want to write here Chanchla, Chanchala. So I'm typing A after L. So it is not taking. The reason is what? The reason is very simple, because here the width is 8. So it is only taking 8 characters by default. So it is for the string. If I want to enter more, because generally it happens, name can be more than 8 character long, I can set it like this. Now I come here and suppose I am now typing A. You can see it has easily taken it, right? Second name, any name. Okay, I think Santoshi ma'am is there, right? So I have written here Santoshi. Now I want to show you, once I have written here Santoshi, you can find in the gender, you can see a small dot is coming, the period set. That means this is the missing value. This is the system defined missing value, right? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now I think one more thing I need to tell you. Give me, there is one more option, that is measure. Measure is the measurement scale of your variable. So you can click here and you can define. For the gender, it is quite obvious, it will be a nominal scale variable. You can set it. And for name, it is nominal only. You can see, I think yesterday we have discussed the measurement scales. I explained you there are 4 types of measurement scales. Can any one of you name all the 4 scales? Anyone?
Verbal scale, representative scale.
Come again, ma'am.
Verbal scale, linear scale, representative scale.
Okay, okay. Any other type?
Nominal, ordinal, ratio, and interval.
Very correct. May I know the name, ma'am?
This is Rajeshwari, ma'am.
Rajeshwari, ma'am. Very correct. Nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. These are the 4 scales we have seen. But I think you have noticed one thing here. The thing is, here only the 3 types of scales available, named as nominal, ordinal, and scale. So scale is combining both the remaining 2 scales, that is interval and ratio, right? So if your variable is measured on the interval scale or on the ratio scale, you will define its type as scale. Here.
Yeah.
Done. So this way, this is a way of defining the variables. But I need to tell you one thing. If you are bringing any of the data in the SPSS environment, means you are importing the data from some other sources. In that case, you do not need to go in this nitty-gritty type of things. By default, whatever are the name defined there in that particular sheet or particular source, same will be taken here, right? So I'll show you now how to import data from any other source in the SPSS environment. So for that, you need to see here, there are few ways of importing the data in SPSS. The very first one is you can click on the file menu, then you can click on the open, and then you can go to the data. So you can take a picture of this, you can click a pic, and that way I'll try if I can share this image there on chat. I think it is difficult to share images to chats in the Google Meet. I think it's difficult. I'll try. Can I copy? No, it is not copying and pasting. No, not possible. Not possible. Okay, so I think it will be okay if you can capture by your own. I tried, but it is not allowing me to do so. I hope you did.
Yes, ma'am.
Done. So I think we will move ahead now. Where was I? I was on this, right? So I was explaining you how to bring data in the SPSS. You need to click on the file, then open, and then data, right? Click on this, open data dialog box will appear for you. Here, what you need to do in the login section, you need to give the location of your file. Means wherever your file is stored, that location you need to give here. So you can click on this drop down to select the appropriate location. But what I'll do, I'm taking the same sheet which I have used yesterday for the Excel, right? So that way my sheet is available on the desktop. So I'm okay with the location. Now what you need to do, you need to know which type of file it is. If it is SPSS file, so the extension will be .sav. But if you can recall, yesterday I have shared you the Excel file, right? So what I need to do, I need to click on this drop down. There I will select the Excel, right? So that way you can see all the relevant Excel files available on that destination are visible to me, right? So I'm selecting the first sheet, which is this. Is it fine, everyone? Process is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the first way. You will click on open, and that way you will be able to bring this data in the SPSS. So I'm closing this. This is the first way I have shown you. The second way is you can click on this icon on which is the folder icon. You can click on this. You will be directly landed on the same dialog box. Right? Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it fine?
Yeah, ma'am.
Any confirmation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now I'll tell you the third way. You can click on the file, then you can click on the import data, and then you can select the appropriate file type. That is, I'll select here the Excel. So again, we are directly landed on the particular destination, but I think you can change. Only the main thing is that once you are selecting the specific file type, that way in the files of type you will able to find that particular extensions, right? Only you need to set the location, and that we would be able to see the files. Is it okay, everyone?
Ma'am, can you please repeat one more time? This third one.
Third one. You
Third,
need to click
yeah.
on the file,
Hmm?
go to the import data, and select the appropriate file type. So this is the Excel file I want to bring. So I'm selecting the Excel. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So I'll select the first file. Now I will click on open to bring this file in the SPSS environment. So I hope you can see read Excel file dialog box is appearing. Now the beauty of this particular dialog box is that because we are bringing the Excel file, and we know in the Excel file there can be so many worksheets. So if you can recall, yesterday the workbook I shared with all of you, there were so many worksheets available, right? So I need to bring which file that I need to give an instruction here. So I want to use here the sheet number 5. I am selecting this sheet here, and that way remaining setting you do not need to touch here. You can only click on the OK button. So once you are clicking on OK, that file will be in front of you in few seconds. I hope you can see the file.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any confusion? May I explain you
Ma'am,
further the things?
Can we import multiple sheets at a time?
No. That way, the new windows will be open, ma'am. In the same one window, you can open only one file. If you are opening one more file here, suppose I will again click on the open data. And that way, suppose I am again want to bring one more Excel file here. Suppose this is, and I think I need to check in which particular file that, suppose this is practice sheet, right? So once I will click on the open button, same type of dialog box will come and I can click on OK, but you can find the new
Yes,
interface
this
will
is
be
good.
open for us. Clear?
Okay. Yes.
Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So now the thing which we have performed yesterday, the find and replacement option, if you can recall. So if you want to use coding for your data, right? So that you can do, what you can do, you can click, select a particular column like this. So you have selected, I will only perform find and replace only once, right here, so that I can explain you how you can do find and replace here, because it is little cumbersome here. Why? So I'll explain you. I selected the column number 1. Now I am pressing Control F. You can see, right, in the find, I'll click on replace also, right? So now I'm writing very,
Ma'am, excuse me. The control F is to open this dialog box, right?
this find and replace.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So now in the find section, I typed very satisfied. Yesterday, if you have paid attention, the beauty of Excel was what? Once you are typing very satisfied in the uppercase or in the lowercase, in whatever form, it is accepting it. But if you will write very satisfied in the lowercase, because you can see in the very satisfied, both the first letters are in the uppercase, right? So you need to write it as it is. If you are not doing so, it will not, I think it will not recognize this, right? So this is the thing you need to pay attention here. Then I need to write which number I want to use here to replace this, and then I can click on the replace all. So I think you can find 5 replacements were made. Now I will convert very satisfied to the very unsatisfied, and I'll replace this with 1. Clicking on the replace all, 2, then unsatisfied by 2, replace all. There is no category available like this in this particular column. Satisfied by 4, replace all. 3 replacements were done, and lastly the neutral, and then replace it by 3, and then replace that. So I think it is easy to do so, but the problem is that if you will simultaneously perform this particular find and replace option here, suppose I have selected multiple columns here, all the columns, right? Now I will again press Control F like this. I am using here, suppose I want to replace neutral by 3. I am clicking on replace all. So it is showing me the each string was not found and no replacements were made. So that is a problem, right? You cannot do such kind of thing in the SPSS. So better either you can code your data in the Excel and then bring in the SPSS environment. Is it clear to everyone?
So we have to do column by column, right, ma'am?
Yes, column by column you need to do.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. So I'll move further. I'll talk about some other thing now. Now, suppose here we are having male and female. So I think it is no problem. Here you can easily write male, replace it with 1, and then click on the replace all. Then similarly, you can write here the female, replace it with the 2 and click on replace all, right? Done. So it is fine. I forgot to tell you one thing. If you are importing your data in SPSS, so you can check your variable view in such case. In that case, you do not need to define everything here. Maximum things are already defined, but it is not like the whatever setting or the incorporation or the things are taken by the SPSS from your source file. You will go with that. If you want to make any changes, that you can do. If you want to define here like this, income of participants, whatever it is, that way you can write, right? So these changes you can make as per your requirement. In the gender, as we have made a coding, so you can come here, you can write 1 is for male, edit, 2 is for female, you can add it and then click on OK. So that way, this type of codings you can perform. Similarly, in the product 1, if you can recall, we have given 1 to the very unsatisfied, right? Click on 1, OK, or add. 2 is for the unsatisfied. Click on the add. 3 is for the neutral, add. 4 is for the satisfied, add, and 5 is for the very satisfied, and then add. So this is why we have done so, because if we will save this file and in future we are using the same file, so that way we can understand 1 is for what, 2 is for what, right? So that way you can define these codings here in the value label option. Fine. Come to the data view here. You can find. So now I will. Any question? May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now you can see.
Ma'am,
Yes.
we have imported only one file, right? This
Yes.
one variable file, how we got this?
Sorry?
We have imported one file from that Excel, right? Another sheet is also visible, no, madam? This one, variable.
Variable is not, ma'am, that is a view. I think initially when I have explained you, just a minute. When I was explaining you that what I can say, just a minute, I'll show you. Interface, we were on this, yes. So you can find here, once I was explaining you the interface, I told you there are two views, data view and variable view. Data view will contain your data. And these are the different variables. So these variables are listed here. And what are their types? What is the width of that particular column? What are the decimal point value for those columns? What is the label you have defined? This is what is the, means these are the properties of your variables. This is you can define in the variable.
Okay.
Is it fine?
Yes.
So I think where I was. Any other question? May I proceed? Okay. So yesterday, I think when we was talking about the histogram in the Excel, I think you people have asked me a question for this, right? So today I'll explain you in the SPSS how easily we can draw the histogram and then how we can put a bell-shaped curve on that. So suppose I'll go in the graph section. I'll use here the chart builder option. Now I need to select a histogram option, and then in the once I will select the histogram from this pane, you can see all the different what I can say, the histograms varieties are available here. I will select the very first one. Either you can double click on this, so that way it will come in the preview window, or what you can do this, or you can drag and drop this in this particular preview window. Is it fine? Now I want to see the participants' income. So I have shifted income of the participants on the x-axis, right? This is all you need to do here, and then you can press on OK. So there is one more interface that is known as the output viewer. Give me a second, yes. I hope you can see the output viewer here. This is this window will contain all the things you are performing. If you have performed any analysis or something, so this window will contain the output of that particular performance, right? So this is the histogram which we have created. Now, if I want to put a
Ma'am, excuse me, or could you kindly explain this alone? How to include that X and Y axis, please?
sorry,
Have you included that frequency and the thing in that column? The histogram, X and Y axis, the naming part.
I'm not getting you. What I need to explain you, or I need to tell you how to make this? What you
Yes,
have?
ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. You need to go to the graphs, then chart builder,
Okay.
right? Then select the histogram from the bottom side of categories of the charts. Select the first one, drag and drop it in the
Okay.
preview window.
Fine.
Now shift your income of participants on x-axis. That's all.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you
Then
so much.
click on OK.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, once you're clicking on OK, in the output viewer window, you can find the output of the histogram, which is this. Now, if I want to put a bell-shaped curve on this particular graph, what I need to do, I need to only double click on this, right? So once I will double click, I will be landed on the chart editor. There in the bottom ribbon, if you can see, there are different small graphs icon are there, right? So the second last option, which is for show distribution curve, you need to click on this. Once you will click on this, you will be on the properties window. There you can see by default option is the normal curve, right? So I think we are okay with this. You can only close this. And then once you will click this chart editor, you would be able to see the bell-shaped curve on your chart. I hope it is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can find the chart or the bell-shaped curve is very flatter type. That means your income of the participants is the flatty cutting. Means it's the value of the kurtosis will be negative here, right? If you want to see whether the value of the kurtosis is negative or not, I think yesterday you can recall it was coming something like, I think minus 1.9 something, right? But here also you can see that. How? I'll explain you. So I'll come to the window back. Now, how you can perform the descriptive statistics? For that, you need to go to the analyze option, go to the descriptive statistics, and then select the I want to show you descriptive. So you can click on the descriptives option. Is it fine? Clear, everyone? Noted down the step.
Yes.
The steps are noted. May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
You can click on the descriptive options. That way you would be able to see the dialog box for the descriptives, where you can find there are so many variables, but all the variables are the what I can say string in nature. So you can find only one variable is coming, which is the income of participants. That you can shift from the left box to the right box. That is the variables box using the arrow button, right? Now you can click on the options button. That way you can see by default, you will get the mean value of the income, standard deviation, and minimum and maximum value. If you want to see variance, you can click range, standard error of mean, skewness, and kurtosis. So we selected all of these, right? Now, what you need to do, you need to click on the continue button, and then you can press the OK button. That way you would be getting the descriptive statistics in the output viewer. I hope the window is visible to everyone. Yes, right?
Ma'am, can you please repeat this step again?
Okay.
This.
Go to the analyze,
Okay.
descriptive statistics, and then descriptives.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, ma'am.
Click on this. I'm resetting this. Now shift your variable using the arrow key in the left box here. Then click on the options button. By default, it was giving me the mean, standard deviation, minimum value of income, and maximum value of income. If I want variance, range, standard error of mean, kurtosis, and skewness, everything I have checked here. And then I need to only click on the continue button and then OK to get the output. So I think I'm not clicking on OK. I already generated the output. That way you can see this output will come for us, right? There you can find, there you can find total observations were 12. Range of the income is 18,000. minimum income is 18,000 and the maximum is 36,000. So the difference of maximum and minimum is range. That is max minus min will give you the range of the income. Then the mean value, that is the mean income is 27,833. Standard deviation of income is 7,183. Variance is somewhere in the lakhs, right? Skewness is coming as minus 1.38 and kurtosis is minus 1.930. So you can see whenever you are getting the minus value of the kurtosis, this is known as the this particular value is known as the platykurtic, right? That is the negative kurtosis, right? So negative kurtosis meaning is platykurtic, right? Skewness is also negative. That means your data is negatively skewed, but it is nearby zero, right? So that means there is some problem with the normality of your data. But in our case, we have taken only the limited number of observations. So maybe if we are increasing the number of observations, maybe we can overcome from these problems. Is it okay, everyone? It is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so give me a second. Yesterday, I think this desktop, yeah. I think I explained you. I have made changes, I think. So give me a second. It will take me only few seconds. I'll just convert this because I want to bring numbers here now, so that I can explain you one more thing. I will replace all. Okay. Then I'll convert it in the very unsatisfied. Replace all. Then unsatisfied will be replaced by 2. Replace all. Then satisfied by 4. Replace all. And lastly, the neutral by replace all. Done. So why I did so? Deliberately I have did so. I'll tell you one more thing here. Now what I'm doing, I will click on the file. I want to open a new SPSS window. So I will click on new and then I click on the data, right? I did so. Now what I am doing, yeah, I will do the control C and then come here and do the control V. So in few seconds, your data will be copied down here. I think this is what also you can do in the SPSS to bring your data in the SPSS environment. You can copy and paste your data, but the problem with that is this, that it will not create the variable with the proper names, right? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I think I pasted. Yeah, right? Pasting is done. Now I'll come to this. What I'll do, I'll copy and paste name from here. So this will save my time. Done. Right? Now I think we have made changes, so I'm making it as numeric. Fine. Fine, everyone. We are ready with the data now. Purpose is, I think I will make all these decimal point as 0. There is no use, so I'm making it 0. Now I will click on the clear button. You have seen one more thing. Some extra thing is there. You can select that particular value or row, and then you can press right click to clear it. Right. So I think we are all set now. This is your data. Now I want to calculate the, because yesterday we have seen these are the satisfaction values or satisfaction level shown by the particular respondents, right? I want to get the average satisfaction score for the respondent here. So how I can calculate that thing in the SPSS? For that, we need to go to the transform menu. We can click on the compute variable. So you can note down the step. If you want to add certain extra column, or if you want to perform certain type of computations, what you can do, you can go to the compute variable section. So you can click on the compute variable. There in the target variable, you need to give the name. So suppose I want to give the name as satisfaction. So I have written here satisfaction. You can remember this thing. If you want to write satisfaction label, you need to use here the underscore sign. That is the important thing you need to pay attention here, right? But I'm writing here only satisfaction. Then what you need to do, I want to do the average of all these, right? So what I can do, I put this bracket here. I'll pass the name of the variables one by one, then plus. I think we all know how to get the average. So that way you can do this and then shift this to this, then plus, then this, then plus, then this, plus this, like this. And after the bracket, you can use the division and divide this by 6, because we are having total 6 categories. So we all know how to take average. And that way you can click on the OK button. In the output window, you will get a message. This computation is made by the SPSS for us. And if you want to see this, you can come to your data file, and that way you can find the score here, right? Is it okay, everyone? Calculation is clear to everyone? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why people are so lethargic? Is it not clear or something?
Yes, ma'am. 50-50.
Why?
First time, no, ma'am. SPSS.
Okay, okay. Fine. So you can find in some places we are getting these small dots. The reason is very simple, because there are certain missing values. So you need to treat those missing values. Wherever the rows are filled, means here you can find there was no missing value. Same here, same here, same here. But here there was one missing value, so we are not getting the satisfaction score. Again here, we are not getting the satisfaction score. Here also we are not getting, and here also, so we are not getting. So you need to treat your missing values. You can replace these missing values by any number, like maybe the average or something, and that way you can use or you can get the satisfaction score for the remaining cells, right? So this way, using the SPSS, you can transform your data, you can code your data, you can
Excuse me, ma'am, we can fill that with any number, ma'am, that missing value.
sorry, repeat, ma'am.
You said there is a dot and we can put some value so that we can get this
Yes,
right?
yes. You need to impute these missing values, ma'am.
Okay, with any how to replace with any other
Generally,
number?
ma'am, there are various methods available. Either you can use the average value,
Okay.
or maybe you can use 0 or something like that. Or if
Or
you want to give, suppose
0 we can give, right?
up to you. Means I will not recommend this. Generally, this is a 5-point Likert scale, right? So
Yes.
5-point Likert scale meaning is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right?
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
average of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 3. You will add all these 5 numbers, divide that by 5. So it is 15 by 5, it's 3.
Okay.
You can take it, right? And so either you can replace it by 3.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
That is also possible for us to do so. But I think it is generally suggested, try to ask from your means if you are a research scholar, so discuss with your guide and then take a decision. So generally, I'm not recommending anything here, but that way there are methods available. Using that, you can replace these.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right. So I was concluding the session by saying this thing. Although I have not taken it to the another label, like for analysis or something, because I think it will be too early to say all these things, because this was a basic session and it only explain you how SPSS works, right? So I will conclude my session on this note, that once we are talking about SPSS, SPSS is a platform which is giving you the facility of coding your data. Even you can recode your data, you can transform your data, you can define your variables properly. If you want to make any changes in the variable view, that also you can make. Then you can go for the data visualization. You can create certain types of graphs, and lastly, you can perform various kind of analysis, right? So this way, these are the variety of uses of the SPSS that we can, what I can say, avail, and that way we can make our research journey easier for us, right? So I think this is all from my side. Now the platform is open for question and answers. If you are having any, please ask.
Ma'am, how can we download this tool? Is there any link?
I think link is available, ma'am, or if you're not finding, you can generally go to the website or in the Google, you can type IBM SPSS download or free download, right? The problem is that if you are doing so, it will give you the trial version of 30 days.
Okay.
Right? So for 30 days using purpose, you can download the SPSS. If you want to avail this, so maybe means buying of SPSS, it will be little, what I can say, expensive. It's a expensive software. So if you can use your contacts, your networks, and from your networks, if you can avail it, it will be easier for you to use it. Otherwise, it's expensive software.
Okay.
Or else you can use a trial version.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other query?
Yeah, for practice, we can use this trial version, right, ma'am?
Ma'am, but problem with the trial version is that it is available for 30 days only.
Yeah. Okay.
And second thing is, once it is expired, the trial version is over. After that, if you are using or if you want to download it, that is again a problem.
In the same system, right?
It is not device independent. It is recording your mail ID, recording of everything, means IP addresses and everything.
Okay.
So that way you cannot download it in the same device.
Oh, okay. Okay, ma'am. Fine.
So once you are performing, suppose if you are a research scholar, so during the analysis time, you can download it so that in a month or something you can use it.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so may I expect you people to switch on your camera so that I can capture you? It's the last interaction for this particular FD from my side to all of you. I can see Santoshi ma'am. Hi ma'am. Ma'am, you are from South side?
Yes, ma'am, from Hyderabad.
Yes. Hi Jayesh sir. Hi.
Ma'am, we can do like this. One research scholar will buy and everyone will use.
That means, but problem is the person who is buying, the person is buying for the one particular user or something that you need to see, sir. There is again the problem. You are using it for one user, to buying it for one user, to use user. You need to see that.
Yeah, ma'am. I mean, we can buy for one and analysis time we just can work together. And
in that case, if you're buying for one user, you will download or install it in your device. So how you will?
Yeah, ma'am. I mean, we just use in one laptop during analysis time, and then do other work in a phone system.
If you people are from the same city, in that case, there is no problem. So
Yeah,
from the
same department also. We are in same.
So
department.
that is okay. If you can avail, no problem in that case.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any other queries?
नो मैम, एक्चुअली मैं फीडबैक दे रहा था। मेरा इनिशियली स्टेज में रिसेप्शन है, तो मैंने पहली बार ही SPSS को वर्क करते देखा, तो टफ टू अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, बट हाँ हम ट्राई करेंगे और वीडियो मिलेगा ही रिकॉर्डेड, तो देन हम वो सीखते रहेंगे।
Definitely, Rahul sir, definitely. I think practice makes a man perfect. There is no doubt in that. Even it is not like I am expert in this thing, right? Even I am learning. But thing is, many a times I have delivered session on SPSS, so I think it's very like I am very comfortable in this software now. But thing is, if you will practice it is not that much hard to use, right? Only you need to see the things, means how you can recode the variable that you need to see, how you can code the variable that you need to see, how you can use the transform option, and lastly, then you can explore analyze option from where we have applied the descriptive statistics. All the related options for the analysis will be available there, so that you can do, right? It's not
Thank
that
you,
much.
ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am, whatever you explained today is enough, or is there anything to learn in this SPSS?
I don't think so. It is enough, ma'am. Research is very vast. I can't say it's enough. It is just the initiation which we have taken today for learning the SPSS. There are various statistical tools which you can perform using SPSS, right? So I think it's just the beginning for understanding the SPSS interface. In 1 hour, I think it's very difficult to tell you everything. I tried my best to explain you 3-4 processes that you can perform using SPSS. Fine, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Any
ma'am.
other query?
No, ma'am. For myself.
Okay, thank you, Santoshi, ma'am. It
Thank
was
you.
great connecting to all of you. I think it was wonderful to interact with the participants, those who are very interactive. So thank you for making the sessions interactive. I think both the sessions were very interactive, so it's good.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So I think I must say thank you to RFI team for one more time giving me the opportunity to interact with participants joined from the Pan India. And it was a wonderful association with all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, RFI, Ajay Jain sir, Neha ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving me one more opportunity. And I think it's a great learning platform for all of us. I think I delivered the session, but it is not like I have not learned anything. I have also learned few questions which you have asked me. Through questions, I have learned a lot. So thank you for this opportunity and happy learning, everyone. And all the best for your research journey. So over to you, Neha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So, as we draw today's session to a close, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all participants for their valuable contributions. A special and profound acknowledgement goes to our distinguished expert, Dr. Chanchla Jain ma'am. Her unwavering dedication and exceptional precision in each session not only highlight her profound expertise, but also serve as a beacon of excellence. Furthermore, we extend our sincere thanks to the organizing committee and its sponsors for their support. With a deep appreciation for everyone's contribution, we officially concluded today's session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy learning. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.